Hello my dears, this is Sarah from sheholdsdearly.com, and I have been wanting to do this video for a long time. I think I actually skipped it last year, but I want to do a spring on the farm video for you and blog posts, and I did a winter one. Gosh, I think it was a couple years ago. But anyway, eventually my goal is to have all 4 seasons showing you what happens around our place with the animals and the garden and just kind of the chores, the things that we're thinking about and what it's like on a little a simple farm. We're on 4 acres, so not big, but very much there's a lot of elements that you would have on a large farm. We just have a tiny version of everything. So I'm going to take you around and show you what's going on. Well, I thought maybe we'd go out and check out what's going on in the garden. This is the reality of spring on the farm. Some of this stuff isn't as pretty as I would like it to be, but let's go check it out. So we worked really hard to get everything in the ground. Look at our celery that we're resprouting. Super fun. I really wanted to grow my own tomatoes, but as you can see from my hand, this isn't very big. This is from seed, and then I have more. This is broccoli. Oh, we've got some peppers totally over soaked. It rained on them. These took, I'm not kidding, these took like 2 months to come up. They're not gonna do much this year. These are tomatoes that we planted from seed, still so tiny, really too tiny. They're not gonna have a good harvest, but I might put these in my greenhouse. We'll go look at that. We've got beets. We've got, 1 pea that needs to go out to the garden, and some pale looking broccoli. Brussels sprouts, those are Brussels sprouts, and some beets. So you can see we are really done with the seed starting, and at this point I transition into if I need anything else, which I do need a few things. Can you believe our zucchini never sprouted? Like, are you kidding me? You need like 1 zucchini seed to like feed your family for a year. Ours didn't work. So we're gonna head out to the garden, but I will also be going to the nursery. I'll take you with me. We're gonna go we want to get peppers, because you saw the size of those. We want to get tomatoes. We'll probably do Roma and cherry. And what else? We'll do zucchini and maybe a couple other things. So this is the time where you really need to like pick it up and be ready for harvest next. So that's where my mind's going. Let's see how the seeds did in the garden. I'm just always really amazed at how it just takes off. Like, there's this time when you're just working on all the seeds, you know, like getting all the weeds out and getting all the seeds in, and then you kind of step back for like a month. And you come back and then you see stuff like this. Like, what? Like, okay, these are green onions I planted from the store. You can totally do that. Look how big they are. And then in here I've got, leeks and regular onions, chives. But these, I gotta weed everything and carefully and make sure I'm not hurting the little sprouts. And at that point, we're gonna take this pile over here of wood chips, and that's like stage 2 in the garden. So you plant really hard, then you do one really good weeding after you've figured out what's what and you know what you want to keep. And then it's all about watering and maintaining the weed control, which I use with wood chips. So that's what we're working on this week. We're getting all of the weeds cleared out, figuring out what we want to keep and what we want to suppress. We're moving towards this kind of a look. So I will get some of this done. Oh, this looks just so pretty. Look at this. And I do have a tutorial on how to make those. Tons of people make them and message me, and I just love hearing about it. They were like took like 90 minutes to make, 25 bucks to make. They're nice and big, love them. So yeah, this is what we're gonna go for. Another thing I wanna get going on this spring is open up. Now we had insulated it, you can see in there, and we had lights and stuff, and we were trying to do our tomatoes all winter. We were not successful, but it was a cool idea. Tomatoes technically are perennials from the Amazon, so I would love to be cool enough for that, but I haven't got it figured out. There's our baby we lost. There's her little gravesite. And I do have actually a whole blog post on that. If you know someone or you yourself have dealt with miscarriage, we can talk about that. We did add these beds, and I really love them. My husband did a nice job. And there is going to be asparagus in there. That's my hope that it is planted. We've got all the pretty blossoms are now gone. And we've got this going on our apple trees. Looks good. I just do a pile of, there's another one, a pile of these composting wood chips, and you have the green needles that are chopped into it, so it composts real nicely. I throw red potatoes. I like the red potatoes because you don't have to peel them when you're cooking. I just throw them in everywhere I can and get a ton of potatoes. This is my favorite way to do this. We do have this irrigation system going on. Let me show you that too. My husband he has this whole place designed with an irrigation system. He did a really nice job. It's all on a timer, and we were spending so much on water. Like, we're on city water, and so we put in this system, and he does need to organize it. There's his work there, and he keeps running to the hardware store. But once we get that big spring weeding done, the mulching, add in the irrigation, then it kind of just becomes a kind of a restful time, because we don't have to water, really. We just kind of keep an eye on everything, check for different pests and things. Like, this is our shade bed. So I started doing this a few years ago, so you can kind of see the layout here. Look at that, like, it's under this huge cedar tree. And if you have some of this going on in your yard, do not despair, just run with it. Like, make it what I call a shade bed. So for instance, we have cilantro in here, which likes to bolt and get really bitter. I have a whole row of cilantro. I've got my kale, chard, lettuce, spinach. We're heading off to the nursery. I'm super excited. I've got my list. Gonna just finish off this garden, make it look good. I'm grabbing some little pretty seed packets for letters and cards with friends. If you have trouble getting your tomatoes to grow, oh, these are like $3.29. Oh, that's really bright. If you have trouble getting your tomatoes to grow, I am gonna suggest, I like big beef. I'm gonna suggest getting cherry tomatoes. They have the earliest harvest time. I do need to get some smaller things, so, that's not even labeled. It's kind of like a cucumber. I think my son's corn could use a little boost, so we're gonna get some corn. I needed to get, this is called a deep, and I'm gonna paint it, but inside there is gonna go my frames that I already have. It has aluminum top. Oh, look at that. That comes off. That kind of makes me happy. I'll peel all that off. Yeah, that'll look good. All right, I'm gonna take you over to where my beekeeping supplies are, and my husband's right now getting the white paint. All right, this is the other deep I have, and it is broken right there. So, that kind of makes me sad. I have enough of these frames. I mean, they're so gross looking, but I'm telling you what, they are valuable because they have honeycomb in them, and the bees have to make this every spring, and you can't just buy it. So, I'm really glad I have those. So, we need 2 deeps. Ooh, it's broken back here too. I feel like maybe I have another one and I wasn't going to use this one. So you need 2 deeps, you need to fill them with frames, you need the lid, which I showed you, and then you need a bottom board. Those are dead bees. That's disgusting. I'm going to clean all that up. See if I can find one more deep. I'm going to look another place. Alright, we did find what's called a shallow. And I will use this, but I need to track down another deep. I could have sworn I had one extra good one around here. Never a dull moment around here. Are you a person? She regularly sits in a chair like she's a person.
You want to go put the bees? You want to mess with
Work with the bees?
Put a beehive up?
No, you know not to mess with bees. I know I have 4 deeps. There's 1, 2, and then 2 shallows. That's the one out here. Do I need to paint that too? I know I have another deep. Where is it? Oh my gosh, I just figured out where it is. It is filled with honey, and I put it in my deep freezer in case the bees were starving, which they do a lot of times in early spring. That's where it is. I'm not crazy! All right, he found it. In there with the blueberries and the green beans. All right, we have that hive assembled. It's actually still wet, so that was fun to try to assemble it. We should have like built it and then painted it, but it's done now. And it's kind of a like welcome home house for the other hive that is gonna get full enough and too full for the hive, and then they're gonna go looking for another hive. And I'm hoping that they pick the house next door. One of my favorite things about springtime on the farm are the flowers. And it's like, I feel like every month there's some type of really great blossom to enjoy. We just got done with the lilacs, and then next is this amazing wisteria plant. It's like 30 feet tall. It just smells amazing. So dreamy. Oh, the bees are so happy. Love this bush. I don't know what it's called. I just call it the Alice in Wonderland bush. I don't know. I called it that once and it stuck. Hey girl. Stretchy dog. Hey girls. Happy spring. Spring is super sweet because we have a lot of babies, just like the whole proverbial springtime farm. We didn't have any chicks this year. Oh, but that's super fun when we have baby chicks. But look what we do have. Hi guys. Hi babies. We got lots of baby bunnies. Oh, hey guys. You having a good day? Oh my gosh, my girls sell baby bunnies and it just never gets old. Love these babies. So sweet. Yeah. We also put a lot of time into wood, getting our wood ready for our wood stove. We have a whole, we call it the wood lot. It's kind of back on the back side of our property, and the guys come out and with axes and do it manually, and so I didn't know this before we had our own wood stove, but wood has to dry, and ideally you want to let it dry for 2 years. It's called seasoning the wood, and so we really try to get it done and then let it really bake in the summer sun. Yeah, there's that too. I will regularly send kids out with the wheelbarrow and say, go pick up piles of horse poop and put it in the compost. Always make the place feel so clean, and then we've got amazing compost. Boy, when you start doing organic gardening, you like fall in love with compost. We do have a creek that runs through our property, and there's just a little bit of water left. This time of year it does completely dry out, which is kind of sad. I do really love spring here because of the green and because of the creek. And then soon there will be no water, and there will be just a wall of blackberries, and there's cherry trees too, and so we'll come harvest those. Oh, look at our shy pony. She was in the creek bed. She saw me coming. Hi, sweetie. She's our wild pony. She's being tamed. She's come a long ways. She's our rescue pony. Hi, baby. Wish I could get a good close-up of how pretty you are. Yay! We did it. Thanks so much for coming around with me, and hope you enjoyed. You got to get a little taste of what it's like to live out on a farm. And if you really like those French tutors, I do have a printable that you can print off with the building plans, so I'll link that below. Already getting excited about the summer version of this, and I'll just tell you now, there's gonna be a lot of harvesting. There's gonna be honey, there's gonna be food and canning, and there's gonna be a lot of golden fields. I call them golden fields. Really, it's dead grass, because I don't want to water 4 acres, but in my heart, I wish it were just always lush and green like it is right now. So I really enjoy this time of year where it's just still green and sunny, and then it quickly dries out, and you'll see what I mean when summer comes. So thank you so much for stopping by and taking this tour with me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And I do post regularly. I share my DIY design advice and our vintage farm life. All right, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.